So my first point that I wanted to share with you is around challenge to creativity. 3-4 months ago, businesses were faced with a huge range of challenges: how to get people to buy their products and services, how to interact with customers, how to make sure that they could still have money coming through the door. And businesses have really adapted. Many businesses have adapted really quickly and really creatively, which has been fantastic. They've given new options for customers on how to interact with their business and how to access services and customers. So some businesses have really, adapted well and thought creatively to really change their operations and to engage with customers. So I think that, it's fantastic to see that it's actually been, in some instances, easier for customers, or at least customers have had different options and different choices. We've seen telehealth, 5-star dining experiences at home, contactless, pick up at Dan Murphy's, which is my favourite experience if you haven't had that one yet. So to combat this challenge has been great creativity, which is really fantastic to have seen. And I think where businesses are looking for solutions, problem solving and seizing opportunities is wonderful. But in that, we haven't seen that before. There's very often you go to a business or you want to interact with somebody and they say, that's not our policy. We're not going to do that. Businesses live by a set of strict rules and guidance. All those rules have been thrown out the window for the last couple of months. So customers have really seen this sort of different choice and different options. And the businesses that have been able to do that have managed to stay a step ahead of competitors. I think customers are going to want creative solutions and they're going to want more flexibility in how they access products and services down the track. These sorts of creative solutions are the things that actually are helping businesses to stay memorable. Another trend that I've seen is around what I'd call the care factor. People are spending time at home in their local neighbourhoods, caring about making sure that their small businesses, their local cafes, boutiques and so on, are, staying in business. So, it's a wonderful thing. There's been a good shift to buying local, which really helps these small businesses. And of course, we've seen a number of different campaigns that drive that as well. So American Express does a Shop Small campaign. There was the Love of Your Local, which is around supporting local pubs, there. So I think there's been a real drive and a sense of community, which has been nice to see. And certainly supporting people wanting to support businesses who are supporting other people in their community, frontline workers or other small businesses. This is an Accenture study, piece of research that was done in 2018, and there are plenty of other research pieces out there. Really what this is saying is that over and above price, obviously price and features are always an important determining factor in why people buy products or services, but people also care about being aligned to the company that they're buying from. They want a values alignment. They want to know that they can trust a product or a service or a company. And it is a factor in decision making. And it's particularly important and particularly a decision making factor for our younger generations as well. So I think what you'll see down the track is that those businesses who have really done the right thing and have not taken advantage, looking for a quick buck or a quick win here, they will receive benefits in the long term and customers will continue to go back to them. My third point today is about craving connection. We always want what we can't have, of course. And I think, isolation has, for some people, been wonderful. Enjoyed just having some time out and some time at home. For other people, there really has been that sense of who am I going to see? When am I going to see people? How do I create that connection going? So it's been an interesting, journey, I think, for many people as we've all had these different experiences. Certainly people are connecting in different ways and new ways, and there's some stats, up there on the screen. Lots of online groups, lots of online opportunities. I think the League dating app is an interesting one. It really shows that, driving for connection. It is hard enough in the real world to go out on a first date, let alone have that first date online on video. But, they've had a 41% increase in video dates. And of that, 30% of those video calls have gone to the maximum time limit. So that for me really does demonstrate that people want to make a connection with other humans and other people as much as they can. of course, we can't forget there's actually been lots of ways to sort of physically contact people within a social distancing environment. So, I mean, for me, I do a morning walk, and I think people are looking up more. People are nodding and saying hello, through that morning walk or at the local cafe. Lots of people I think are on first name basis with their delivery man, because we love those little presents that they bring every couple of days. And I think as well, the Friday night drinks that you've seen, over the fence, probably when it was a bit warmer. So neighbours are connecting with each other. I think the Anzac Day service going out to your front driveway, helped demonstrate that connection people wanted to keep with each other. So I think before, people valued online shopping. It was fast and efficient and simple. It was human free. I think the irony now is that people will want a bit more of an experience and a bit more of a connection. Just simple connections with other people, as we haven't had it for, quite some time now. My fourth point around the things that have been changing in our environment is how we've been consuming content. And we've been consuming content at great rates and great knots. And there's some stats on the slide here for you about those increases. So the first is around a Kantar study showing that, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, so on, increased by 50%. And that's in countries that have been hardest hit by the virus. Twitter has seen an increase. Hootsuite, which is a social media distribution platform. This is businesses. That's a business platform. Businesses are increasing their use in social media. They're putting more content out there. They're really trying to keep their voice, their message in front of consumers as much as possible. And they've seen an increase in messaging and live chats as well over advertising. So how do I send a message direct to customers through social channels or direct mail, direct email? I think email's gone up by something like 27%. So marketers have sent 27% more emails through COVID than pre-COVID. So I think, there's a lot more content out there. People are consuming a lot more content, but this means that it's great for consumers. We've got choice, information, know what's going on. Fantastic. From a business perspective, it's really hard to stay out there in front. It's hard to stay at the top of somebody's feed. Or even in, someone's inbox as we, get more and more communications and there's more and more content out there. So the last point that I wanted to make around insights and things that have been changing is moving from what has been a fairly carefree society in Australia to a much more cautious society. So the last 4 or 5 years has been, pretty good for most Australian households. People have been working, income's been good. There's been some disposable income. Of course, yes, we've had challenges in Australia, like keeping a Prime Minister. Some sectors have really suffered, such as physical retail, haven't really been able to compete well with online retail. But generally, it's been a good place to be. This, of course, is rapidly changing for a large number of Australians, and money is going to be an issue. So where we've had low interest rates and low unemployment, low interest rates will stay, but of course unemployment is increased significantly in a short period of time. People are also underemployed, so less disposable income. People have less money to spend. So there's 6 million Australians who are currently receiving the stimulus package through 850,000 businesses. So that's a lot of businesses who are asking for support and asking for help from the government. So we've had a lot of change, and of course people will become more cautious about their spending over the coming 12 months. Businesses also will be cautious about their spending. So whether you're a B2C or a B2B business, you need to think about both of those things and how businesses and people will be really cautious about their spending. So I think what you'll see is a drive in areas where it's commoditised goods, basic food and basic clothing. People will be looking for price. I think from a services perspective, if you deliver a service, then people are going to look for value. They want more value than what they've previously had.